been a while since I've talked to Mr. Senan Coakley. He's currently out in Dubai at the minute with John Mitchell. He's fought in different disciplines since he's been over there, and he's been on the victorious side of those matches that he's fought. Thank you very much for your time. I know there's a bit of a time difference between us. How are you? How is Dubai? Just tell us about your experience so far.
I love it, lad. It's been really, really good. Like I've just been training away, really focused on getting better at, everything like my wrestling, my striking, you know, grappling, whatever, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to get better at everything. And that's all I've been just striving towards, is getting me better, getting my MMA game better. So, that's whether I have to take a kickboxing fight, a boxing fight, a grappling competition, an MMA fight, I'll taking it all. And I find like in Dubai, there's just been opportunities. Like all them fights that I took were all on like max, I think 3 weeks notice is what we got. So it's just been like there's 1 and 2 weeks kickboxing. Do you want it? Yeah, no problem. Then it's like there's a boxing show on. Do you want it? Yeah, no problem. And I've just been taking them as I go, like, and I've been really enjoying everything that I've been that's been coming my way and that I've been getting, and I'm just gonna keep going at it.
Yeah, and you've been out there, I want to say, between 4 and 6 months, something like that. What was your original reason for going out there, and was your plan to stay there as long as you have, or were you going out for a short visit and then coming back?
So I came out in January for like 4 weeks for a training camp. John was like, "Come out and I'll look after you. Like you can stay with me. You can train in 971. You can train with Munir, Aussie, like the lot." So I was like, "Yeah, yeah, no problem." So he came over and uh, I was just trying to wait for the 4 weeks, and I was like really, really locked in. Like I was in a good space with me food, training, and I was just really focused because I had John with me. I was living with other lads who are really focused on their job, and it was like we were all just really dialed in. And then I came home and I just wasn't as dialed in as I was out here in terms of like constantly hitting the gym every day, twice a day. Then when I'm not in the gym, I'm looking at footage, or when I'm not in the gym, I'm looking after my recovery. And I just said, why not? And then I text John and I was like, what's the story? Like, can I move out there? Like, what would you think if I moved out? And John was like, just book the flight, just book the flight. So then I booked the flight. I didn't know where I was staying, what job I was gonna have, nothing. I just knew I needed to be in Dubai to just really focus and dial in and better myself. And I came over and John was like, right, we just spare around, boom, stayed there. Then it was like, okay, we'll get you a job here, boom. And it's just been rolling, ever since. And I've just been doing my best every month. And I can't thank that man enough. Like genuinely, he has really looked after me and Paul. Like Paul Buckley's out here as well. Paul Buckley's my main training partner. And if you had told me that about a year ago, it would have been like, would you ever give over? But two of us are over here, and everyone says that me and Paul are John's sons now. Yeah, with the two sons he's never had. So he's just been looking after us and making sure we're all good, and helping us out with training, with PTs and stuff. So really grateful for him. So he is the main reason why I'm out here and why I'm living here. He's what got me over here, and he's what's helped me out to stay over here. And I just love it. I miss my family and my friends back home, like, and of course like my teams back home. But in terms of like why I'm here, I just know this is for me over here. Like it's just I'm locked in over here. I don't have any distractions. Everything's just towards the goal of being the best MMA fighter I can be, and that's why I'm just happy to be over here now.
Yeah, and what a man to be out with, John Mitchell, and then obviously Paul Buckley out there as well is another thing. Like you said, if you'd have said you'd been training partners with him a year ago, everyone would have went, nah, not a chance. But have you seen the improvements in yourself since you've been there? Because obviously when you were back home, you were focusing a lot on wrestling, and I see that you're focusing a lot on wrestling there. Can you see the improvements? Like if you were to fight on a show that I'd see you live, would I see these visible? I'm assuming I'm going to see these massive improvements in your game. Do you notice them as they happen, or do you notice them looking back? If you get me, after a long period.
Um, like if like what do you mean? Like the improve, like me wrestling? Do I feel like my wrestling's come on? And do you think like was it every day that I noticed it was coming on, or
Or every week even? Like, did you notice every week, or did you just get to a stage where you look back on like where you were 6 months ago and you just see a massive improvement, or do you notice it week on week when you're wrestling?
a bit of both? Because like, sometimes you are the hammer and sometimes you are the nails. Like I'm still under no illusion that I'm the best wrestler out there and that I'm good. I just know that I'm better than I was. And I can rock up to the gym and, John will smash me, Ozzy will turn around and smash me as well. Like it's not like I'm beating everyone in the gym. But you know what? It's just sometimes I'm in certain positions before where I'd get caught and I wouldn't be able to get out of them. And now I feel like I don't end up in them positions as much. And, when I'm MMA sparring, I feel like I have that, like I know what I'm doing there, you know what I mean? Sometimes I was really like I was getting good at wrestling, but it's just about putting it all together and mixing your striking and your wrestling as well. Like I found that's a big difference now is like mixing the levels, like mixing when you're doing wrestling, when you're doing striking and stuff. So I've been working on that a lot. And then of course, like there's little things where like Ozzy always says, there's a North Star. Like so when you're wrestling, you always have to have the next place where you want to be in certain positions. And I know that. So say if I'm on bottom, I know right, I'm not gonna go from on bottom to being on top straight away. But I can be on bottom to be in a lesser shitter position to a lesser shitter position all the way up until like eventually stand up because like I have full confidence that I can stand with anyone. Like right now, in 2 years' time, I'll be even better. Like I have full confidence that anyone that stood in front of me, I can strike with them. Like whether that's UFC level, whether that's amateur level, that's pro kickboxing level, that's pro this. I feel I do. I just know I need my wrestling to come up to scratch, and then once that's up to scratch, like I feel like I'll be at the level where I want to go pro then, and no one's safe on the pro scene then. Like when I start going at that, like
Yeah, because like you said, your striking is elite. Obviously, you look at the likes of your brother who's in one championship, and you look at the striking that you've displayed at amateur over here. So once the wrestling kind of catches up, and like not saying you're not well rounded now, but you'll be even more polished by the time you've kind of when you're going pro. You've took a couple of fights there, and a lot of them on short notice. What's it like going into these ones on short notice? Do you think it's better or worse? Do you think because you've less time to maybe thinking about an opponent, you just go in and focus on what you want to do?
like so to be honest, right? Yeah, they are short notice, but I think I came out here on the midway through July. I think it was the 15th of July or something like that. Yeah. And from that minute, I've been doing, I'd say 11 training sessions a week, sometimes even 12. So that's twice a day, Monday to Friday, once on a Saturday. It's literally been every week since I got here. So it's not like I'm coming in and out of camps or this and that. It's just literally been training as if it's normal, like as if it's nothing else I'd be doing. And then the opportunity would come and I'd be like, yeah, I'm ready, let's go. So like I'll give you the story about the kickboxing fight. So I was literally in the gym, I think I was with John, helping him out or something with a PT, or maybe I was doing a PT myself. And some fella come up to me and was like, "What weight are you?" I was like, "I'm about 85." Like, and he was like, he's like, "You want to fight kickboxing?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll fight any now." He was like, "No, no." He was like, "No, show. There's a show in I think it was no, there was a show in a week." He said. So I went over to Munir and I was like, "Munir, this fella, who's the?" And Munir was like, "Oh, he's a good lad. He's a good lad. 85, yeah." Boom. Didn't know it was pro. Thought it was amateur. Then the day before the fight, when we weighed in, we were like, is it pro or amateur? And they were like, it's pro kickboxing. So we were like, lovely, let's go. So went in, fought, beat. So first round, wherever. Second round went in, really put a mark on it. Stopped, gave him 3 8 counts, and then eventually stopped him to the body. Afterwards, I get your man's Instagram. Your man has 6 pro fights, and the IFMAs, the Muay Thai IFMAs.
Yeah.
So he's won them twice. He's big. He's won them twice. So basically, the IMAFs of Muay Thai, he's won twice. Got gold medals in them. Won the UAE Muay Thai Open 3 times as well. I'm only literally seeing this after like running through the second round, and I was like, lads, like, come on, like, and I love do you know what I mean? But that, and then I just knew, I was like, look, that's the level I'm at here. And there's still so many holes in my game, even in striking, like, and I'm just working on them. So when I fix them, like, God bless everyone is all I'd say. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm working on my striking with, one of the best boxing coaches in Dubai with Lead. I'm working on my striking with Aussie. I'm working on my striking with Munir. Like everyone, we're just polishing the game as well as polishing, John's, Paul's game. Like we're just polishing everything and making sure that when I go pro, I am like flying. Like it's not gonna be me going pro in a rush or this and that. It's me going pro and me hunting, like literally coming to hunt people down. Like whether it's okay, this game plan. Like I want to be honest, when I go in pro, I don't want to be like, okay, right, game plan, strike, don't get taken out. I want to be like, okay, let's wrestle this fella. Okay, let's strike this fella. Okay, he's good at wrestling. I'm gonna strike. He's all right at striking. Okay, let's take him down. You know what I mean? And to be entertaining as well. I don't want to be one of these that's gonna sit on top of you if I take you down. I'm gonna try and hit you. I'm gonna try and hurt you when I'm on top of you. I'm gonna try and submit you. Yeah. Like one thing I always say about me and like any of my fights I've had, even the losses, like I will come to have a knock. Like I am not trying to have a boring fight. I'm not trying to win on points. I'm trying to come and I'm trying to take your head off from the minute that bell starts till the end, and I'm just constantly going at you. The reverse is broken, is what I'll say.
Yeah, no, like you look at the fights you've had. I know, like a couple of them were even losses. Like I said, with Charlie Spence over in the UK, that was a war. It just showed crazy levels of heart, skill, great determinations, everything. And the two years went out there, and a lot of your fights were like that. But back to the kickboxing, when you actually saw he was all this after the fact, do you think that might have messed with your head if you would have seen that before the fact, or do you think it wouldn't have mattered? No.
I would have rather see it before, because then I would have been like, oh, I'm gonna kill this cunt, like, you know what I mean? Like, sorry for my language, sorry man if you're watching, but like, anyway, back to a PG. So like stuff like that doesn't bother me. Like if you were to turn around to me and say like you've been in the UFC, you've had this, I'm like, yeah, lovely. I want to see what my level's like against you. Like I know my level's better than you, especially if it's just kickboxing. If it's kickboxing, yeah, no problem. Let's go. Like you know what I mean. Like I genuinely do believe I can stand with anyone on this planet, like any man at my weight. So like the minute we found out that, we were like, that's mad, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, no, it is crazy, but like that, you had a Muay Thai fight as well. You've had MMA, but what is the scene like around there for combat sports? Is there shows running consistently, or are they just every month, every 2 months? What is the scene over there? You can explain better than me.
Like there's just shows everywhere. Do you know what? There's actually so many shows that it's hard to actually keep track. Like over in Ireland, you'd have like Cage Legacy, Cage Conflict, IUR, all these ones. You'll have Elite Fight Championships in Cork. You know the shows, and you have the year planned. In Dubai, it's literally like, oh, there's going to be a show next week now. They've just organized it, and cause there's such a big like pool of fighters here, they know they'll get fights on it. You know what I mean? They know they'll people will fight. So like it's just about living the lifestyle, living the fighter's lifestyle, and just being ready to jump in there. That pro kickboxing fight was a bodybuilding competition, and they wanted to, so it was a bodybuilding competition, but then they also said that they want to express all sports from across the world. So they just put a big ring in the middle of it and said, right, there's going to be pro kickboxing here. Over the other side, there was a not power slap, but like a lower level of that, obviously. Then there was like arm wrestling there. I think there was like paddle over there, like tennis, or there was like literally just different sports in this big, huge center. And I was like looking around, I was like, this is class, like the fight in the middle of this.
That's mad. That sounds like a mad event, and the fact that there is events and they're so frequent, obviously, is going to suit you for staying active going on. But like that, like you talked about the fighter's lifestyle there. What is the fighter's lifestyle to you? For me, it's like that. It's kind of what you're doing. Food right, training all the time, no distractions. Kind of, it sounds like a bit of bliss. Someone described it to me before. They said they wanted to move to Thailand and just eat and train and fight. Obviously, this is Dubai. So, what is a fighter's lifestyle in your opinion?
Like it's just living and breathing it. Like, do you know what the main thing to sum it up is? Everything you do in your life, you should ask yourself before you do it, is this going to benefit my fight career? is it not going to benefit my fight career? If it's not going to benefit, no problem. I'm not doing it. If it's going to benefit it, I'm going to do it. So that's how you need to think. Like most of my days now is, wake up an hour, 2 hours before training in the morning, have me breakfast or whatever, do me jobs that I need to do with me online coaching and stuff, get me clients ready for the day, make sure everything's good with that. Any chores around I have to do, my ma's not here, I have to do washing, I have to do stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then you go train, and then after training I'll probably have two PTs, then I'll come home, I'll eat, I'll have me prep done from the weekend, then I'll probably go back to training. If I have time, I'll have a nap. You know, it's important. I think it's important to sleep as well as much as you can. Then I'll go train in the afternoon. Then after training, I have two classes. I teach kids classes here. I'll do them. Then after that, I'll come home, eat again, rest, recover. If I have time, I'll do saunas, ice baths, stuff like that. It just all depends. But that's literally every day, and you have to be like, you in a weird way, you can't have feelings about it. You just have to get up and do it. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to get up and do it. And sometimes you love it, sometimes you hate it. But it's just, it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? If I wake up and I cry about training, who cares? No one actually cares. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's it. Like, if I wake up one day and I think, oh, I'm hurt here, I'm here. Like, who cares? Just get up and go. Just keep doing it. Just keep staying at it, keep plugging away. One day you get to the UFC, you can look back and then it's all worth it. But for now, it's just like, get up and get at it. And like, no matter what happens, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my job, which is improve myself at MMA. And that's what's going to happen every day. And, nothing's going to get into the way of that. Like, whether I turn around and, I wake up and today I'm like, I don't feel myself today. Honestly, brother, who cares? Just get up and go and just keep going and train. Go train. You'll feel better after training. Keep yourself that busy that, you know, it's a privilege to be sad in yourself. You know what I mean? It is. You haven't got enough time. If you're sitting there and you're worrying about what you're doing and you're like, oh, what's going on? It's like, why aren't you in the gym? Why aren't you out running? If you can't afford a gym, go out running. Do something to improve yourself. And that's every day I think about, what can I do today to improve myself, whether that's mentally, whether that's physically in the gym, stuff like that. You just need to keep going as a man or as anyone that trains. You need to really be, torn off your feelings towards it. If you're serious about it, of course, if you're doing MMA to enjoy it, like, you shouldn't be like that. You should be doing it to enjoy. You should be enjoying your sessions. But like me, I'm in this to go all the way to become a UFC champion, to, really set myself. And like, I know that's where I want to be. I know I'll get there. So, as Khabib does say, brother, who cares? Who cares? You're tired. Who cares? You know, just keep going. Just keep going. Keep plugging away.
And I love that mentality as well, because like, you look at people with their jobs that they don't like, even when they feel shit, even when they go to and do it every day because they have to, because they have a mortgage to pay, they have this, that, the other. So they have goals within, that's the reason they go to the job. But if you're doing something to be the best, like you said, doesn't matter if you feel sad, it doesn't matter if you feel this, you just need to go, because staying at home isn't going to, like you said, isn't going to benefit your fighting career. Going, keeping busy and being disciplined. Do you think that time over there has kind of helped you mature as well, as a fighter and as a person?
Big time. Big time. I've matured as a person. This is the longest I've ever been away from my family, from my parents, you know, all this. And I know I've matured, you know what I mean? Like, I'm 20 years of age, like, and it's only since I've came to Dubai that I've realized how young I am and how many opportunities I have at this age, which is a blessing. Like, it's honestly a blessing. And it's not something that I will take for granted either. Like, I know the opportunities I have at this age is, not a lot of people will have these opportunities. So that's why it's like, that's why in my head I'm like, you wake up and you feel sore, or you feel upset, or you're depressed, and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, it's like look, I'm wearing a Palestine jersey. If someone woke up in Palestine and said that, like, is that gonna change? No. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to get like political. Well, I will get political about it because, you know, free Palestine and all that. But like at the end of the day, when you wake up, you need to just go, and you need. I realize that all these blessings around me, like it would be a shame for me to not actually follow through and make this worth it. You know what I mean? My ma worked very hard to help me to come over here. My ma and dad has worked very hard to put me where they are. And like that's a big inspiration to me, you know. They've you know, if there's been times where I was growing up where they've worked two jobs just to keep me in gyms, to keep me training, keep me playing football, keep me playing rugby, keep me playing any sport. And I've seen it. And it's only now where I've looked back and I've gone, I remember my dad was doing extra jobs here to help me there, and I remember my mom was doing this. And it's not like, and like, look, I don't, honest to God, I don't come from much of a struggle, but I do know my mom and dad worked their arses off to get me where I am. And, you know, my main goal now is to make them set for life. Like, honestly, like, that's the main goal in my head is to set them for life because they've worked so hard for me. And I've only realized now since I've, you know, left and not been with them now for 4 months that it's like so much, you know, they do so much for me that I do really need to get back to these now. And that right now to see them, they're coming over for Christmas. I'm going to show them Dubai. So that's the only time I'll have off over here. I'll go bring them around, you know, obviously spend time with them. But I think like they've worked too hard for me to now turn around and say, you know, maybe fighting's not the one. Like fighting is the one. Like I've shown levels. I've shown levels in different sports. I'll continue to show levels, and you know, people will see it very soon. I think people are seeing it now, though. You know, eventually they have. You know, when I first came onto the scene in MMA, people did see it, and people did see the talent I had. And then, you know, stuff happened. You know, I slacked off. You know, three losses in a row, three lessons in a row as well that I've learned, I've taken with me, and then I had to go through. I know I had to go through them. You know, to learn about myself, learn about life, learn about what I wanted out of life, and then I won that fight against Mantis. I really sat with myself after that fight, and I was really like, right, I'm back in the win column now. I'm back where I wanted to be, and I was just thinking to myself, like, what do I want now out of this? Like, and I said, there's only one place for me. There's only like, I need to get rid of everything in my life that's holding me back. I need to get rid of, and that's gonna not benefit my career. And I said, I'm gone. I said, I'm gone. I said, this is it, Dubai. And that's when I booked my flight, and I'm out here and now. And it's shown. I think three, I've four, no, four wins in three different disciplines this year so far, and hopefully make one more now in December. Hopefully, I can get a fight in December, and that's me happy for this year. Next year, then hopefully late next year, I can go pro.
So obviously, with you wanting to go pro at the end of next year, you fought in different disciplines. Are you looking to fight in more disciplines again, or they just came up, you took the opportunity? You're just looking to stay active as you have been, and then go pro at the end of the year.
Yeah, like, and there's no definite go pro at the end of the year, but you know, talking to John, who will most likely like, you know, manage me as well, like he was just saying like maybe next end of next year, maybe the year after, you know, I'm 20 years of age, like I'd be going, you know what I mean? That's young. Like I still have a lot of time. Well, I don't have time, but I do have time. So look, I'm in no rush, but that's hopefully what I'm aiming for, you know. Obviously I'd want to fight pro tomorrow, but one thing I've always learned from Craig and from Collie and Andy and stuff is you're the fighter, your coaches make the decisions. You literally just do your training and let them make all the decisions of when you're going pro, who you're fighting, when you're fighting. You know, that type of way. But in terms of fighting in them disciplines, like I honestly don't like I'd honestly fight in anything, like just if the offer comes up, the offer comes up. That boxing show that I fought on Big Bang Promotions. They're doing a show in February, so I'll hopefully get back on that. Then there's a show in January, 971 FC. John main evented it the last time, so I'll get on that course, and we'll just keep building. You know what I mean? And you know, if I don't fight on one of them, I'm surely to be another one. And like I was saying as well, like it's now like my training isn't doesn't have to be focused on a fight. My training isn't focused on a fight. It never is. It's just purely focused on getting better. And that's all I want to do is just get better. So now when I go into the gym, it's not like fighting 8 weeks, do this. It's just like getting into the gym. Let's get better. What am I going to learn today? How am I going to put this into effect? Okay, do this, different techniques, you know. the boys are correcting me, making sure that I'm doing everything right, boom, boom, and just keep doing that. Like that's all I'm trying to do, is just improve myself.
And that's a good point, because I was actually asking someone the other day, when you're fighting against an opponent, there was someone who would have fought like a couple of times in the year and they were constantly in camp and they felt like they didn't improve because they were constantly focused on a person. Do you think as an amateur fighter, you should just be focused on yourself as opposed to looking at someone else and trying to stop their game plan, and just try and make your own style and improve yourself?
Yeah, yeah, and you should jump at anything at amateur as well. Like, you should jump at K1 fights, grappling tournaments, MMA fights, like Muay Thai fights. Like, just jump at everything while you're amateur. When you're pro, it's different. Your pro is your career, and your pro is like, hopefully you're gonna make money out of it. So you need to be just zoned in on pro and like zoned in on your MMA game then. But when you're amateur, like all I'm trying to do is just get better at different things, Like I watched that boxing fight back and I was like, there's so much stuff for me to work on. And instead of being disheartened by that, I'm actually really excited by that, because now I know, okay, if I work on that, that means my boxing's gonna get better. And then it's like we're looking at me wrestling, then it's like, okay, if I work on that and I do that, that means my wrestling's gonna get better. So that's all I do. And then that goes back to the fights as well. Like, so that's why I'm taking these fights to work on that. Like, as well as that, at the end of the day, like when I fought that boxing fight, your man had two two fights, two KOs before that, yeah. And he trains purely boxing for 3 years. He's training, yeah, purely boxing. I done a wrestling session Monday morning before that fight. That was on the Friday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, done 3 boxing sessions. So that's the level I'm going against. I'm going against the pure boxer, trying to put my game into that. Then when I fought that kickboxer, same thing. Monday, Tuesday of that week, wrestling sessions. Wednesday, Thursday, and then obviously weigh-in Friday, Saturday fight was kickboxing. So like, it's not like I'm taking these fights and then just, okay, right, I'm stopping everything and I'm just training this. Like, I'm just keep going, keep going. Oh, I'm fighting this Saturday, am I? Boom, do that. Boom, do that. Little things to work on. If we have footage of the opponents, we'll have a look and say, right, do this, do that. But like nothing to the point where we're doing like weeks out. We're practicing certain shots to try and catch an opponent. I'm just trying to improve me.
Yeah, no, and I like the attitude and I like the mindset. And you can see just from talking to you and how you're talking that you can see the maturity as a fighter and as a person. And it's a pleasure to see. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. Hopefully you get a fight in December. If not, I'll be watching your career no matter where you are in the world. So I'll be here. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything you want to say before you go? It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again.
My pleasure as well, Dave. Genuinely, you're the best media in Ireland. I'll always have time for you, lad. Of course, it took us a while with the time difference and stuff, but we got it eventually. Like, in terms of thanking everyone, like just my family, friends back home, my team back home, DCI team right now, and then obviously my teams out here. Um, 971, John Mitchell, Ozzy, all the lads as well. Especially John Mitchell, because none of this would be possible unless it was him. Like, obviously, I have great coaches there, but I wouldn't be in Dubai unless it was for him. I wouldn't be still afloat unless it was for him. So he does mean that everyone calls him me dad, Dubai, yearly as a brother. Like, but yeah, just them, and then obviously my sponsors from back home. Gateway Student Accommodation, Ensha Asian Cuisine, Physicare, Soul Food, like all the lads as well. They've always looked after me. Obviously, I'm out in Dubai now, but I'll never, like, I won't forget people who helped me out in my amateur days when I was just on the come up, because they were really big in helping my career out. Helping me with gym fees, stuff like that, food, whatever it was. So I really do appreciate them, and I'll always rep my sponsors.
Yeah, no, and that's fair play to you. Like, you don't forget the people who helped you up at the start as well. And that's a really good character trait to have. I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll be talking to you either before the end of this year or at the start of next year.
Perfect, Dave. Thanks very much, bro.